Why Daeron Targaryen was the Green's greatest secret weapon, the forgotten hero of the Dance of the Dragons. If you ask most House of the Dragon fans who Alicent Hightower's best son was, you'll probably hear Aemond because he claimed Vhagar, or Aegon II because he wore the crown. But the son who earned respect from both friend and foe was someone else entirely, Daeron Targaryen. Unlike his brothers, Daeron wasn't known for cruelty, drunkenness, or an obsession with revenge. He was disciplined, honorable, charismatic, and an exceptional dragon rider. Even many of the chroniclers who recorded the Dance of the Dragons describe him as one of the finest young princes of his generation. So why is Daeron Targaryen one of the most important characters in the Dance of the Dragons? Why do so many readers believe the Greens would have collapsed much sooner without him? Let's find out. Daeron Targaryen was the youngest son of King Viserys, the first Targaryen, and Queen Alicent Hightower. Unlike Aegon, Aemond, and Helaena, Daeron spent most of his youth far away from King's Landing. He was sent to Oldtown to serve as a ward of House Hightower, where he was raised by his mother's family. Living in Oldtown shaped Daeron into a very different man. He was educated by maesters, trained by experienced knights, and grew up away from the toxic politics of the royal court. The result was a prince who was courteous, intelligent, humble, and respected by nearly everyone who met him. Many historians even suggest that if Daeron had been the eldest son, the history of House Targaryen might have been very different. Of course, no Targaryen prince is complete without a dragon. Daeron rode Tessarion, known throughout Westeros as the Blue Queen. Unlike the enormous Vhagar, Tessarion was younger and smaller, but she was incredibly fast and deadly in battle. Her brilliant cobalt blue scales, copper wing membranes, and blue flames made her one of the most beautiful dragons ever recorded. Together, Daeron and Tessarion form one of the most effective dragon and rider pairs during the dance. When civil war erupted between the Greens and the Blacks, Daeron remained in Oldtown. While Aegon II defended King's Landing and Aemond marched into the Riverlands, Daeron joined Lord Ormond Hightower to lead the Green armies through the Reach. This campaign would prove absolutely vital. The Reach was one of the richest and most powerful regions in Westeros. Whoever controlled it gained access to enormous wealth, food supplies, and thousands of soldiers. If the Blacks secured the Reach, the Greens would risk being surrounded. Stopping that from happening became Daeron's mission. His first great test came during the Battle of the Honeywine. Lord Ormond's army was close to disaster as Black supporters attacked from multiple directions. Then Daeron appeared. Flying high above the battlefield on Tessarion, he unleashed dragonfire upon the enemy lines. The sudden arrival of a dragon completely changed the battle. The Black army collapsed into chaos, and what looked like certain defeat became a decisive Green victory. For his extraordinary courage, Daeron received the nickname Daeron the Daring. It wasn't simply because he rode a dragon. Unlike many nobles who watched battles from safety, Daeron repeatedly placed himself in danger to save his soldiers and lead from the front. That bravery inspired thousands of men to continue fighting for the Green cause. Without Daeron's victory at Honeywine, the Hightower army might never have reached central Westeros. Following Honeywine, Daeron continued marching across the Reach, capturing castles and gathering new allies. His greatest campaign, however, would be fought at Tumbleton. Tumbleton was one of the wealthiest market towns in Westeros and occupied a critical position along the Mander River. More importantly, it controlled one of the main roads leading toward King's Landing. Whoever controlled Tumbleton controlled one of the most important supply routes in the war. Both sides understood its importance. When the Green army arrived outside the town, the Blacks had assembled a powerful force to defend it. What followed became one of the most shocking moments in the entire Dance of the Dragons. Daeron entered the battle riding Tessarion. Fighting alongside the Black army were two powerful dragon seeds, Hugh Hammer, rider of Vermithor, and Ulf White, rider of Silverwing. Both had sworn loyalty to Queen Rhaenyra, but in the middle of the battle, everything changed. Hugh Hammer and Ulf White betrayed Rhaenyra and switched sides. Their betrayal instantly shifted the balance of power. Now the Greens possessed three dragons, Tessarion, Vermithor, and Silverwing. The Black army had no answer. The defenders were overwhelmed, and the First Battle of Tumbleton ended in one of the Green's greatest victories of the entire war. Without Daeron holding the Green Army together until the dragon seeds defected, that victory might never have happened. Sadly, Tumbleton also revealed the darkest side of the dance. After the victory, discipline within the Green Army completely collapsed. Soldiers looted homes, burned buildings, murdered civilians, and committed terrible atrocities throughout the town. The triumph quickly became a massacre. Although Daeron himself is never described as encouraging these crimes, he was unable to stop them. The destruction of Tumbleton became one of the greatest stains on the Green cause, and a reminder that the Dance of the Dragons destroyed not only dragons and kings, but also the honor of many who fought in it. By this point in the war, many lords admired Daeron more than his own brothers. Unlike Aegon II, he inspired confidence. Unlike Aemond, he was respected rather than feared. He had become the Green's most successful battlefield commander. Some even believed that Daeron possessed every quality a king should have. Had he survived the war, he may have become one of House Targaryen's greatest rulers. But fate had other plans. Months later, the Second Battle of Tumbleton erupted. This time, the Green Army was divided by rival ambitions, while new forces marched against them. The battle exploded into one of the largest dragon fights of the dance. Tessarion fought beside Vermithor while facing sea smoke, ridden by Aemond Valerian. The skies above Tumbleton filled with dragon fire, smoke, and chaos. Then came the end of Daeron Targaryen. No one knows exactly how he died. Some witnesses claimed he was killed in his tent during a surprise attack before the battle truly began. Others believed he was crushed beneath a collapsing burning building. Still others claimed dragon fire consumed him during the fighting. George R.R. Martin deliberately leaves the truth uncertain. What we do know is that Daeron died at Tumbleton, and with him died one of the Green's greatest hopes. Tessarion survived the battle only briefly. Mortally wounded after her fierce fight against Seasmoke and Vermithor, the Blue Queen could no longer fly. To end her suffering, she was mercifully killed by soldiers after the battle. The death of Tessarion marked yet another tragic loss in a war that would ultimately destroy nearly every dragon in Westeros. Daeron's death was a devastating blow to the Green cause. They lost not only a prince, but also their most capable military commander and one of their last dragon riders. From that moment onward, the Green's position rapidly deteriorated. Many fans believe that if Daeron had survived, the outcome of the Dance of the Dragons might have been very different. He possessed courage without Aemond's cruelty, leadership without Aegon II's recklessness, honor without weakness. In another world, Daeron Targaryen might have become one of the greatest kings House Targaryen ever produced. Instead, he became another victim of a war that destroyed a dynasty, nearly wiped out the dragons, and changed the history of Westeros forever. The next time someone calls Aemond the Green's greatest warrior, remember Daeron Targaryen, the prince known as Daeron the Daring, the rider of Tessarion, the Blue Queen, the forgotten son of Alicent Hightower, and perhaps the Green's last true hope during the Dance of the Dragons. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, do you think Daeron Targaryen could have changed the outcome of the dance if he had survived?